Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo and Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So we're already open for business here because it's late in the afternoon. We opened up the shop this morning. So let's get to it. A couple of things. I am seeing that evidently Deshaun Watson, that one of the plaintiffs, there are now 23 active lawsuits against Deshaun Watson. According to one of the plaintiffs, they changed their mind filing a lawsuit after watching it. So they decided, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and file mine too. So there's that. But, you know, this is actually kind of funny because as I was going through and getting all the Twitter news and things that are going on, here's the thing that's kind of funny. I'm looking at this numbers. Deshaun Watson, okay, anyone holding 4-12 against Deshaun Watson. Watson led the league in passing, completed 70% of his passes with a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, despite his best wide receiver being traded while being sacked 49 times, and he even rushed for 44 yards. That's incredible. That's an incredible season. But the funny thing is I don't see anybody saying how much of that was in garbage time because they were getting blown out. I don't hear anybody saying empty calories about that. I don't hear anybody saying that if you're an elite quarterback, that you put the team on your back and you force them to win. 4-12. 4-12. Just saying. But we do have some breaking news here today. This is freaking news that you will love to hear. Take a look. We fired up the clock. Usually I end up firing up the clock and it's usually like 125, 130 days or so. And it's kind of depressing. It's really, really depressing when you see it that far. But see, here's what's cool. Today, we are exactly 100 days away from NFL kickoff. But wait, there's more because you acted now. You see the numbers there. It's not just a regular daily clock. No. This is down to the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. Take a look at that, friends. Look very close. Look close. Look close. It's 100 days, 2 hours, and 28 minutes. So in 2 hours and 28 minutes, we'll be less than 100 days until the NFL kickoff. Oh, I know you're excited. I'm excited. When I see 99 in a few hours, I'm gonna go crazy. In fact, I will come back and do a video just so we see 99 click down. So a couple of interesting things. You know, there's always the Dak Prescott hate and everything else that always goes on and so forth, that Dak's not good enough, you know, Dak's not winning. You know, we had a home playoff game against the 49ers and we lost that one, you know, and it was all Dak. Dak had the penalties left and right. Dak, of course, you know, couldn't stop the other opposition. Dak, of course, couldn't run the football. It was only Dak. You know, Dak couldn't call the right plays. Dak is literally the cancer. If the Cowboys just got rid of Dak Prescott, they would win a Super Bowl every year. At least that's what you would think by listening to the Talking Heads. Now, this was interesting, listening to Stephen A. Smith. I haven't listened to Stephen A. in quite a while, but Stephen A. literally says that Dak Prescott needs to show up, and he's sick of this shit, or he's sick of him. Let's listen in for a minute, because I just got to play it because, you know, it's that time of year.
Talk about the Cowboys, right? Well, Dak is more about results these days, saying to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, talent is one thing, but if you don't fulfill it, it doesn't really mean anything. I'm excited for those guys to be able to do them and for them to prove people wrong. I know what this team has. We definitely didn't take a step back. We're going to continue to get better, and that's what this offseason is about, and that's what moving forward is. Marcus Spears, obviously, former Cowboy, we know it was a heartbreaking ending to the season, not living up to expectations. Actually, that botched play was extra heartbreaking. But who remembers that? The expectations this year, though, still sky high. Because mistake. And these are the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. So with that being said, do you think there's do you think there's any quarterback under more pressure than Dak this season?
Yes, clearly. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. We are talking right now. People are saying that the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the NFC East.
There you go.
Based on the moves that they've made, the people that they've added, what they did through the draft, and even going to the playoffs last year. Jalen Hurts is going to be under a microscope because the Philadelphia Eagles are expected to compete for a playoff bid and to actually make noise when they get in the playoffs. And I understand, look, the context of all of this is there's different types of pressure on each one of these quarterbacks. But the most amount of pressure when it comes, in my opinion, when we start talking about this from a on the line. Jalen Hurts' job is on the line. He may no longer be the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles based on how this season goes. You know who will start for the Cowboys if the season don't go well after this year, Molly Q? Guess who's going to start? Dakota Rain Prescott. And look, beyond that, this year, when we start talking about all of the things that had problems and all of the things that happened with the Dallas Cowboys down the stretch for the remainder of the season, who was the microscope on? Let's be honest. Who did we talk about? Who got the most scrutiny? Would that be one Mike McCarthy? Ain't that the guy that we talked about as the guy may lose his job? Remember when Sean Payton decided to leave the New Orleans Saints and everybody talked about Jerry can't wait until Sean Payton say he ready to coach. They'll send draft picks over there to make sure they can get Sean Payton. Dak Prescott is under pressure like every other quarterback that's expected to win with big contracts. The quarterback that's under the most pressure is Jalen Hurts because he's playing for his damn job.
This is a Titan segment. This is not the usual link that we have, so I'm going to make this quick. Marcus, for once, I'm not going to joke around about the Cowboys. I'm going to be dead serious. I think you're wrong. I think it's Dak Prescott. And I can't front.
Surprise.
I'm sick of him.
I'm sick of him.
It's time somebody says this. And I can say that in all seriousness because I completely supported him getting his money and all of that stuff. Class guy, you understand, team player, leader, the whole bit. We were all up here going off about how this brother needed to be paid his money. Well, when the hell you gonna show up? I would remind you that in the last 2 victories that they had last season, he scored 56 points against Washington and another 51 against Philadelphia. And then you go up against San Francisco and you can't get 20 on your home turf in a playoff game. I know he threw for over 4,000 yards. I know the season before he threw for nearly 5,000 yards. I know he had 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. I get all of that. But we hear all of this noise about America's team. You finally got your bag, $75 million just last year alone to be exact. All right? What you gonna do? You got CeeDee Lamb, you got Michael Gallup, you got Schultz back at tight end, you still got Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard in the backfield. Okay, you got a relatively decent offensive line.
Oh my God!
Listen to me. I'm dead serious. You're missing my point. Jalen Hurts, you're right when you talk about Dak Prescott gonna start and he gonna finish. I'm changing the category somewhat. I'm not disagreeing with your point. I swear to you, you're right about Jalen Hurts, Swagoo. In terms, he's playing for his job. That's not the kind of pressure I'm alluding to. That's an obvious choice. I'm with you. There's nothing to debate about that. Jalen Hurts is under most pressure because of his job. What I'm trying to say is that it's America's team, bro. You in the spotlight all the damn time. We see these elite quarterbacks. Well, when you gonna be elite? I'm talking about when it counts. When you go, and Swagoo, in all fairness to you, because I'm serious, I know that you're objective. I get all that. And I tease everybody else about the Cowboys and all of that stuff. But at some point in time, it's one of those situations where you know you fighting to give a cat recognition and props because you know what he's capable of. And then somehow, some way, when it really counts, they disappoint you. We see a whole bunch of boxers. Like this kid Ramiro this past Saturday, he could fight. But when he went against Gervonta Davis, he recognized there's levels to this. And I'm saying that when it comes to greatness, Dak Prescott is a great talent and a great leader. But we need it in the moments that count most. Enough of this, you know, I'm that guy, but when it really, really counts, you going home. He got to step up.
Thanks.
Okay. Stephen A. Smith says, I'm sick of this. That when they played the San Francisco 49ers at home in the playoffs, that they couldn't score 20 points. They scored 19, I believe, in there. Yeah, that is not good enough in the playoffs. It is not good enough in the playoffs. If you can't score more points than the opposition, then you lose. And it's not like, we're talking about Dak being like an Aaron Rodgers, elite quarterbacks that they never have problems in the playoffs. I'll remind you that the very next week, San Francisco played in Green Bay. San Francisco, being a West Coast team that's used to warm weather, went to the frozen tundra of Green Bay where Aaron Rodgers did his magic to them and showed Dak Prescott what an elite quarterback is supposed to do. Oh, no, he didn't. Because that same Green Bay Packers against that same San Francisco team, they only had 10 points. 10 points. Okay. I get Stephen A. Smith. It's the off season. We have tomorrow OTAs to talk about. We have $10 million coming through. It's just after the holiday weekend. There's not a whole lot of news other than Hicks signing with Tampa Bay and so on. And unfortunately, Jeff Gladney dying in a car accident, tragically, speeding and car fire and stuff. So there's not a lot. There's the old standby. And that is, when there's nothing else to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott and how they're a failure. Well, you know what? I'm going to go the other direction with this stuff because I believe, and I can be a homer, I and probably am. But this is going to be the funny thing is because I think you're going to see the Dallas Cowboys offense really and truly blow up. Like I said, I'm a homer. My prediction is the Dallas Cowboys offense won't take a major step back. Now, let's be clear here. What they did last year, scoring the amount of points and the yardage and everything else, is harder to replicate. But I hope it's more balanced so that, we still blow out Washington and the Eagles and things like that, but we play better against some of the better teams as well. And I believe that the fact that my quarterback, who now has actually had time to work with his rookies, Jalen Tolbert and stuff, to work with James Washington, although he's in a walking boot right now, to really work with CD Lamb. Because, see, here's the thing that's kind of interesting about Dak and CD. Since CD Lamb has been drafted, this is the first offseason that CD's really got to work with Dak Prescott. I bet a lot of you don't realize that. But CD was drafted. We had COVID, in which case there really was that shortened training camp where the first few days were basically conditioning. There were no preseason games. And then Dak got injured in that season. And after Dak got injured, that offseason, Dak wasn't really part of OTAs or training camp and couldn't work at training camp. See, they haven't really had a chance to click yet together. This is the offseason that they're actually working together. Their lockers are right next to each other. I guarantee you, CD's over at Dak's house and they're working out in the yard and stuff. They're working on really getting themselves together. I believe that they've only scratched the surface. I'll go into it more later on. But I think that you're going to see CD Lamb and Dak Prescott really open up on a whole nother level and literally blow this stuff up. But then again, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll that just loves to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And as always, I appreciate you, but I think that Stephen A. Smith, well,
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
And I will catch y'all later. Peace.
Our coach here, as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe for the Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and all the things
else I got to say is